Hey everybody, we are live at the Hurricane Headquarters with our 11 a.m. tropical update for July 23rd, 2020. All these maps in this video are updated for the current time. And the news, which is the same as yesterday, but Tropical Depression 7 becomes a tropical storm. So, yeah, not much has changed. Although today, most likely, it is going to become a hurricane. So now let's jump in to our official NOAA forecast. So here's our cone. Right now, I'll put on the forecast track line. And as you can see, right now we are at 11 a.m. It's most likely to become a hurricane either today or tomorrow at 8 a.m. Although this map does not show what time it will become the hurricane. So as we can see over here, a few of these little island areas, you are under a hurricane watch. So watch just means you're not in imminent danger, but you should prepare now. Get your plan ready. Get your evacuation route ready. Get ready to evacuate your area to higher ground or away from the coast, because storm surge is a big problem, especially on the east coast of those islands, and possibly even the west coast as the storm passes by. Heavy waves is a definite in the next few days, and quite heavy winds. You're going to get hurricane force winds. So that is quite strong. So these watches are up. My predictions are even these parts of South America and those areas will probably even get a hurricane watch or even a warning in the next few days. A warning, if you're wondering, means you're in imminent danger. The hurricane's about to hit. All your preparation should be ready or just about done. You should board up your windows, depending on the strength of the hurricane, at least. Category 1, I wouldn't board up my windows for Category 1 unless I was like right on the coast. If I was on the coast, I would prepare for flooding, get sandbags ready. But if you're not right on the coast, I don't think that's too much of a problem. Just expect heavy winds. So let's check our wind speed probabilities for, this is tropical storm force. And as you can see over here, there's a high probability, about 90%, probability right there. So you're definitely going to get it there. But don't think that just because you're not in this very purple or red area that you're not going to get it. This is just for today, for the next 5 days. This storm's a very slow mover. It's not going to come at you tomorrow. It will slowly move towards all the islands over here. I believe this is Caribbean. Hold on, let me just check on that. Alright, it's the West Indies Islands. Sorry about that. I really didn't mess that up. It should be in the Caribbean today. Alright, the West Indies Islands, all these areas, even a bit, sorry about that, even a bit north of the cone, you could probably see some tropical storm force winds. I would say anywhere below Puerto Rico, you should prepare for strong winds. Waves is a definite. And yeah, if you're near Jamaica. I wouldn't expect too strong winds, just tropical storm. I've actually, since I'm in the New York City area, I've actually been hit with a tropical storm, and it wasn't that bad. It was really just like a severe thunderstorm, just a little bit weaker, and it just continued. It wasn't that strong the whole time. We just had some periods of really strong sustained winds and stuff. It wasn't that bad. So now let's move on to the arrival times of winds. Over here, you should expect winds West Indies by Saturday at 8 a.m. And all the way over here, even by Jamaica, probably on Monday, you'll get these winds. So we're going to go back to our wind speed probability, and we're going to go to hurricane wind speed probability. As you can see, not a probability in the next 5 days. For some reason, I don't know, it's very strange. It could be considered a hurricane without hurricane force winds on the ground. It's really measured in hurricane force winds in the air. There could be a Category 5 hurricane, and it could only be like Category 1 on the ground, although usually that doesn't happen. Here's our 50 knot winds. As you can see, there's a good, I would say 20% chance in these areas for the next 5 days. Although over here you can only get a 50%, so it's not that bad. Alright, so now we're going to head over to our windy.com forecasts over here. So, right here is our storm. As you could see, like I said, it's measured in the air, not exactly on the ground. Sorry about that. And as you can see on the ground, we have like 26 mile an hour winds, probably about 30 of a max. You can see our eye here, our circulation. Overall, not that bad. So let's go to our page here. Let's look at some more data maps. 1 second. Alright, Gonzalo. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But here are the spaghetti models. Now we have some quite good agreement that it's going to be moving northwest up through Cuba-ish. But a lot of the maps show it die off over here. So there's a high chance it could just die off over here and not even make it to the Gulf as a strong storm. I think it could either stop here or even continue growing to a Category 2 hurricane, possibly over here. And it will most likely weaken. There is some shear over here, wind shear. And I think it's unlikely that it'll hit the Gulf as a hurricane. Possibly a tropical depression if it maintains its strength, but I have doubts it's going to be that strong. Sorry about that. Alright, so here's our intensity guidance. And as you can see, a few of them make it go into Category 2 status, and one of them actually brings it right through Category 3 to major hurricane status, which is Cat 3 plus, and it even shows it hitting Category 4, but then a very steep downfall. It's almost like a mountain. As you can see right now, it's a tropical storm. Today, it'll probably, either today or later in the week, probably tomorrow, it will become a Category 1 hurricane. And I would say, I would give it like a 40% chance of getting to a Category 2 and like a possibly 10% chance of getting to Cat 2. And like a probably less than a 5% chance of it even getting up to 3. Unless all that wind shear somehow just magically disappears and it strengthens over the water more than it should. then it possibly could go to Cat 4, but I don't really think that's that likely. Now we're going to take a look at our Atlantic Basin area. As you can see, the storm... Oh, I almost dropped the mic, sorry. The Atlantic Basin, and here is our storm that we've been tracking. It is currently a tropical storm and will probably develop around this area. Before it hits the islands, there's currently a tropical storm watch. If you didn't see that earlier in the video, I would rewind the video to see those maps again. But as you can see, tropical storm watch issued, hurricane watch, sorry, issued over here. And the storm will most likely develop before it hits the islands. It will weaken slightly because it always weakens over land, and if it does scrape the coast, that should weaken it. And the reason most models show it die off fast is because once it gets by the Dominican Republic and even over Cuba, it really would just die. Those are quite big land masses. They're like just about the size of Florida. And if you look at history, these storms, when they ever go over Florida, they always weaken substantially. Unless the Atlantic or northeast to east, unless this is warm water, they could possibly grow, kind of like Sandy or Dorian. And Dorian last year actually hit Canada. It's a Category 1 hurricane, I believe. And that is extremely rare, so I guess some people in Canada had quite a big surprise. Alright, now I'm going to look at TD8, Tropical Depression 8. This is our map right here. As you can see, it stays a depression for a little while, and then the map shows it becoming a tropical storm as it hits 7 a.m. Friday, and it even impacts a lot of Texas, especially the major city, Houston area. That'll get hit. And even Mexico possibly could get a tropical depression over here, or a tropical storm if it continues to be strong. Although I don't really think it will do too much damage. What I think is possible, though, is if it does continue this way, it may get into the Pacific and affect the West Coast a little bit, and maybe even Hawaii in the long run. And another thing is it might not even get past Mexico. We'll have to see. I'll head back here. Let's look at our arrival times of winds for Texas. As you can see, Friday around 8 p.m. is when this area will be getting it. Friday, that's when you're going to get these winds for most of Texas. I think the entire coast of Texas will be impacted from this. Not so the northeast coast as much, but I think everywhere from like Houston all the way down to like Boca Chica, the spaceport area down there, you're all going to get affected. And Louisiana, I think you're good with this. Maybe just some heavy rain around the southwest area. Heavy winds. And here's our flash flooding potential. As you can see, over here we have a slight risk, about 10%, and 5% around here, marginal. Surprisingly, no moderate risk or even high risk. Unless that's in Mexico, probably. And this is not even part of the storm, so don't look at that. That's just how it works. And this, I'm not sure how this is part of it, but I guess the outer bands could be affecting Florida. I don't think that would be that bad, though. Here's our U.S. rainfall prediction here. As you can see, parts of Texas could probably get like 6 to 10 inches of rain, max. You're not going to get anything more than 6 to 10, so probably less than a foot of rain. Although that is still a lot of rain. It's a lot of rain. So if you're in those areas, anywhere on the coast, you're probably going to get a lot of rain. Maybe down south near Boca Chica, a little bit less, probably like 2 inches more. But that whole area, you're going to get a lot of rain, so you might want to clear out your gutters because this could do some serious damage if they're clogged. Alright. Now here's our wind speed probabilities for tropical storm force. And they're not that high. This one's probably more accurate than the other one because it's for the next 5 days. So only really a 20% chance over here. Or just 20-30%. Not that high. Let's see, 50 knot winds. There's a very small percentage, only 5 to 10% around here. This coast area, it's possible, but unlikely. And hurricane force winds, there's like a 0% chance because it's most likely not even going to become a hurricane, although it is possible. Can't say it's not. So let's head back over here, look at some more maps for Tropical Depression 8. Here's our spaghetti model. As you can see, mostly it just heads right through Texas into Mexico, and none of the models show it continuing except this thing, but they don't really show it going into the Pacific as a tropical entity. The only thing I could think of it as a possible invest area, it goes right through Mexico. It can go back to what it was and invests, and it could grow and maybe possibly even affect Hawaii. So if you're in Hawaii, don't be concerned. It most likely won't, but it's a possibility. Alright, here is our spaghetti models. Here's the global one. The global, as you can see, takes the same path. Most of them get at least into Mexico. And alright, let's head out. And let's look at our, sorry about that, our GFS, American model, however you like to say it. Again, it doesn't even show the storm getting under 1,000 MB. So pressure, it's going to be a quite weak storm because anything above 1,000 is kind of weak. Although one of these models here does show it actually getting out into the Pacific Ocean. I believe it shows that. It's really hard to tell. Even though if it does hit over there, it's probably just going to hit the California area of Mexico. So that will most likely die off or become an invest. Sorry about that. And forgot about the Canadian model. Canadian one, it's usually less accurate, but it does show this storm. Interesting. Yeah, it shows it. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. I just had to check something. It shows it really just. Most of the models show it either going into Mexico, dying off right there, which is actually a really high possibility. And these ones that go right all up here, anyone who lives up there, don't worry. Anyone outside Texas and Louisiana, don't worry about the storm. Once it gets up there, it's probably going to be as weak as a thunderstorm. It's most likely either going to be a tropical depression or post-tropical cyclone. Nothing that serious. Wow, actually, these models go quite far. And let's see our intensity guidance model. As you can see, 2 of them make it into category 1. Well, really, I know one does. And I'm not sure if this one does or doesn't. I hate when this happens. It's like right on the edge. It's either in or out. And Alright, you guys can post in the comments, do you think that model is in Category 1 status or Tropical Storm status? Alright, now let's head back to our maps and, sorry about this, here's our, Gulf Basin, that's what I like to call it. As you can see, it shows the storm. This big blob is the storm. Alright, I guess I understand now how the Florida's in the outer bands can get over here. You can actually see the outer bands over Florida right now. As it moves a little bit, it will head to the west coast of Florida. It's really affecting this entire area. So now I understand what that model was saying. And in the next 5 days, it'll probably affect all over here, all of the east coast of Texas. So if you live in Texas, don't expect too much from the storm. Just expect the average tropical storm, and if this thing, if it grows substantially high, you can just say it's hurricane, Category 1 hurricane. But even if it does get to that status, it's going to be very weak. Very weak. And there's only like 2 miles, I guess. 1 or 2. Comment below what you think. That even show it getting there. Usually there's more. And here's our water vapor map. As you can see, over here is our storm. Is our what's that called again? I keep forgetting this name, everybody. Gonzalo. Over here's Gonzalo. Over here, I'm not sure if this is part of the storm, but this would be like an outer band really far away. And over here, this is our Tropical Depression 8. It was actually originally a very low chance of developing. No one expected it to develop, but it did. So, yeah, that's quite interesting. And you can see there's outer bands and water vapor over here. Outer bands affecting these areas. Alright, so it's so hard to find maps in this thing. Alright, this is the atmospheric moisture. As you can see over here, it's very moist. This is where Tropical Depression 8 currently is. In the Gulf, it's very moist there. And down here, it would also be very moist. It's really quite far, and I wouldn't really worry about that. So let's head down to our tropical intensity forecast map. Sorry. And by the way, it's not ours. We're just showing you a whole bunch of models, and you can make your own forecasts. So here is our, not ours, the map that shows hurricanes and tropical storms and hurricanes and the time of growth and really the peak amount of storms forming. As you can see, July into August, it's not even that high. September and late August is when it really ramps up. That's when you can expect the most activity. September, even October, and November, not that bad. You could still see a decent amount of storms popping up there. Although December, it just flatlines, no storms. There may still be remnants of storms, but probably not any. Alright, and now we're gonna look at our latest track again. We're gonna, oh, sorry about that. I was gonna look at the warnings cone for Texas. This is warnings cone for Texas. And we're going to look at our tropical storm Gonzalo. Once we get to it. Alright, this is the latest map. As you can see, continuing strong. A few hurricane watches in this area. We're probably going to see warnings in the next few days. So expect, if you live in those areas, expect warnings. And now, while we're on the subject, we're going to take a look at the severe storms in the U.S. right now. Over here is our risk map. As you can see, upstate New York, North Jersey, Connecticut, parts of Massachusetts, and Maine. All this area in a slight risk, marginal for the rest. And just this light green is thunderstorms, which just means that there will be thunderstorms. Nothing severe expected. And up here we also have slight risk in North Dakota area, marginal, north and south, this entire area, as you can see. Head back over here. Sorry, I literally just mixed up the entire page. Now, if you're wondering what the risks are, slight, they're short-lived and they're really isolated, intense storms, and really, they're really just, it's kind of thunderstorm, cloudy. It's like a pattern almost. Marginal, you can expect some. Just don't say, oh, well, it's only marginal, it's very low risk. Thunderstorms is very low risk. Don't even worry about that. Just if you're in anything above enhanced or at enhanced, expect a lot of tornadoes, big hail, and very strong, heavy rain, and a lot of damage. And if you want to see our National Weather Service current alerts, all over here, you can see current alerts. I believe over here, I believe there's a tropical storm watch over here. Whoa, sorry. Didn't mean that. I believe there's a tropical storm watch in this area. Alright, tropical storm warnings for the ocean area are up. Tropical storm watches for the coast are up. And we have heat advisories somewhere. Hurricane local statement here. I don't know why that's... And hazardous weather outlook. As you can see, we have plenty of alerts to go around over here. I'm not sure why there's a hurricane local statement in that area. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure what that is. Alright. It's just saying check your emergency plan and prepare for quite a large storm. And let's go back to our ocean heat content. And up here it's very warm. Very, very warm. This is top area for development. But you see the weakening will start, it's over here. It has to go through this very chilly area. Although it's not that cold, it's alright. And it will die over here for some reason as it gets over land. It's very horrible planning for the storm. So I just need to check something. Sorry about that. Alright, now we're going to look at our tropical storm Gonzalo forecasts. As you can see, it will become a hurricane by 8 a.m. Friday, tomorrow, in Eastern Time. And it will most likely not be a hurricane once it gets past the Oh, sorry about that. Past these islands over here. It most likely won't affect the Dominican Republic and Jamaica that much. Although Jamaica, I would expect a quite strong tropical storm in that area. And by the way, it's not just going to die over here. It will most likely continue and come through here and weaken substantially. And we might get a tropical storm for the Gulf, possibly. Tropical, no, hurricane watches are up for this area. So if you're in that area, I would expect tropical storm warnings in the next few days to pop up. And if you're wondering what watches are, watches means just get your plan ready. And if you're near the coast, expect strong storm surge. Even the weakest storms can bring a lot of damage from storm surge. So I would definitely prepare for storm surge if you're especially on the east coast of this islands. Even on the west coast, you could see some as it moves by, but the most powerful is definitely coming from the east. So be prepared to evacuate to higher grounds if ordered to, and yeah, get your plan ready. So we're going to look at our wind speed probabilities. As you can see, tropical storm wind probabilities. This is only for the next 5 days. I don't truly understand these, but they're just not sure exactly what's going to happen over here. So there's almost a guarantee down here for tropical storm winds. Here's our 50 knot probability. Quite good. You probably get like 30%, even 40-50% over here. So it's possible to get 50 knot winds. And hurricane wind speed, it's almost impossible for some reason. Although I believe that's only because they're not sure if a hurricane will develop yet. Alright, and here's the arrival times of winds with our wind speed probabilities. Over here, you could definitely get 8 a.m. winds. So this kind of helps you understand that up here, north is probably all the rain and the heavy winds and stuff. And right here is probably the eye. And you can notice if you were ever in one of these storms, there's always a strong part and a weaker part when you're outside of the eye. Alright, we'll be right back. You can look at the latest model here for Tropical Storm Gonzalo that may become hurricane later today. We'll have to see. And we'll be right back. Hey everybody, we are back. Sorry about that. I just had to get a drink of water. But we are back, and we continue to look at new maps. So I just refreshed the page, so we'll get the latest maps. First, I'll continue here. So most likely the West Indies over here, these islands over here, sorry, Saturday 8 a.m. to Friday 8 p.m. That's when you'll get those winds. And don't mind the colors because they're just not certain exactly what winds will come. So I wouldn't mind the colors here. And let's look at our most likely. Most likely is this way. So most likely is Saturday 8 a.m. Saturday you'll get hit with those heavy winds. And even these upper islands over here, it's possible for you to get some really strong winds, just not in the current wind cone. So now let's take a look at our Tropical Depression 8 cone here. As you can see, it is currently in the Gulf of Mexico and will most likely hit Texas as a tropical storm. And what's possible is it could even make its way into the Pacific Ocean as a invest. Again, it could start over and even make its way over into the Pacific and regain strength. It most likely won't make it through Mexico as a tropical entity, only an area to watch again, because it's most likely going to weaken, and you'll see the spaghetti moles, most of them ends in either Mexico or Texas. So now let's take a look at the wind speed probabilities. And as you can see, it's not going to be a very strong storm. And for now, we only have a 30% chance over here. But that will increase as the storm gains a bit of strength. 50 knot wind speed, it's very low, 5 to 10% chance in this area. So I wouldn't really expect much winds. And hurricane, there's like a 0% chance. I would say 0 to 5% chance because there is so weak. And I'll show you the, here's the model here for, sorry about that, intensity guidance. As you can see, only 1 to 2 miles go up there. And in the comments section below, you could push, what do you think this is in? Do you think it's in tropical storm or category 1 hurricane? You don't have to say why, just say what you think, because I'm not sure. I guess I can consider it category 1, but I should also consider it a tropical storm. I'm not sure. Leave in the comments below what you think. Do you think it'll reach category 1 status? And what do you think this green spaghetti mole is showing? Cat 1 or tropical storm? Whoops. Alright, let's head over to our, here's our spaghetti moles for the international. As you could see, it mostly just goes right through Texas. Some end in Texas, like this very light purple one, and most of them just end in Mexico. And what I'm thinking is it may continue as a post-tropical cyclone. And as you can see, it may become an invest when it gets into the Pacific Ocean. And it may become a storm that could impact possibly even Hawaii. But if you're watching this from Hawaii, I just want to let you know that I am not exactly trying to cover your area. The channel is really only diverted for the Atlantic. And if storms from the Atlantic do somehow transfer to the Pacific, we may decide to cover them, but we are mostly based in the Atlantic Ocean. So as you can see, this is the US GFS model, and one of them even shows it going into the Pacific Ocean. Well, I assume it is. But it looks as it would hit South California and Mexico, and it would die off maybe into an invest possibly. I don't think it would be a tropical depression or a post-tropical cyclone or anything like that, but it's good to know. And we're going to look at our Canadian model. Canadian models are always less accurate, but it's always good to see them so you can at least see what the Canadian model shows, and the average of them brings it right through Texas, and the average one doesn't even bring it into Mexico. A lot of these don't even go into Mexico, and some of them turn all the way over here, and it's kind of a mess because it's not even sure if it's going to go this way. There's not as much agreement in this model, but a lot of them do also show it going into Mexico, but with this one, it's saying that it's almost impossible for it to get to the Pacific Ocean. And now let's check out this page. Sorry about that, I just want to clean up the tabs. Let's check out our U.S. rainfall. So here's our flash flood risk. I'll view this in the website, actually. I'd rather view it here. There might be more options to choose from, but here's our flash flooding potential. As you can see, even West Florida can get the outer bands of the storm, although Louisiana and Texas, ranging from like New Orleans to Boca Chica down there, that definitely can get some slight risk, 10%, and you should expect flash flooding even near the coast. Storm surge is also a big threat, and a lot of rain and storm surge can cause a lot of problems. And here's our rainfall amounts in the next 5 days. As you can see, it's going to rain probably up to 10 inches in parts of Texas, and even parts of Mexico. You get 10 inches of rain. Possibly, 6 to 10 inches, but I would say not exactly 10, but especially over here, you can get a lot of rain from Louisiana area, even Florida, the very, very west coast of Florida, all the way down to Boca Chica, Texas, because that's kind of like the bottom of where the storm will hit. You'll get some heavy rain. Maybe South Texas, not as much. And East Texas, depending on where you are, you can get a decent amount of rain, about 2 to 4 inches in this entire area. Even parts of Florida, possibly even 4 to 6 inches. So if you're in these areas, you might want to expect a lot of rain and a lot of flooding, because like 6 to 10 inches of rain plus 3 feet of storm surge is a lot, and they can cause a lot more, especially near the coast. It can be 1 foot storm surge turned into almost 1.5 foot storm surge, and that could be quite dangerous. And just say 2 foot storm surge with almost a half a foot of rain could just flood entire first floors of houses and cause a lot of damage. If you're in that coastal area, especially over here, and just get your plan ready, and if you're told to evacuate, I would do so, because this is a lot of rain and a lot of storm surge in that area. So now we're going to check out our windy forecast thing in this small bubble. Let's see if we can zoom in. As you can see, here's our storm. You can see the rotation. And yeah, this is quite a powerful storm. Sorry, I just need to check how much time is left. Alright. So now you know that's a really powerful storm, and you can really see the rotation now. You used to not even be able to see it. Now you can definitely see it. And if you want to come see Gonzalo, I think that's what it's called. Get to find it. Oh. Well, it's a little hard to find it now. It's in a strange spot. Alright, you can see right here, you can see some rotation. Not as defined as it was earlier today, but it's definitely strengthening. And you can't exactly see tropical storm force winds in there yet, but the way it's measured is it's above ground level. This is at ground level. So it's not measured only by ground level. And now we should check out the severe weather in the Atlantic now. Or not the Atlantic, the country. As you can see, New England, you're in a slight risk. Parts of Pennsylvania, New York City, Long Island, Connecticut, parts of upstate New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, North Jersey, all these areas, you can expect slight risk. We'll go over what the slight risk is, and marginal for most of upstate New York and the rest of these states, Massachusetts, Maine, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, all these areas in this dark green. We'll see what marginal means in a little while. Slight, again, over here, North Dakota area, and marginal, South Dakota, all of this area. And all the light green is just thunderstorms, none severe predicted. But if you're on the edge of like marginal and thunderstorms, then you could expect possibly some severe thunderstorms, severe thunderstorm warning, anything like that. So now let's head over to our maps again. Here's the risk map. So thunderstorms, there's nothing really severe, really just lightning, flooding. That's all. Some heavy rain. That's all you're really going to get. Possibly hail if it's a big cell, but marginal. Isolated severe thunderstorms. So you could get some hail like the image shows and some heavier rain, and you could get some severe thunderstorms. And slight is short-lived and isolated, but they can be a little stronger, and you could get a few warnings in the day, some trees down, and if you're in enhanced plus, you're gonna get some tornadoes. You can get very heavy winds, big hail, heavy rain, and some strong thunderstorm cells. So if you're anything 3 to 5, anything like that, expect some really strong thunderstorms. And if you're ever in 5, yeah, you might want to go into like an interior room or something, because that's going to be some real strong storms. And there's a lot of tornadoes in that. Like the last time they had one of those things, there's a lot of tornadoes in the US. So if you're in 4 or 5 or even 3, expect some strong storms. And here's our risk map thing. Another type that some might like. As you can see, rain/thunderstorms. Heavy rain/flash flooding is over here. And some severe thunderstorm possible, and it's yellow and yellow. And the gray is critical fire weather possible. Oh, even in Louisiana, some severe storms down there too. And all this rain down here is mostly caused by this Tropical Depression 8. So, yeah. And now to wrap up the video, we're going to check out Tropical Storm Gonzalez, sorry. I keep messing up that name. Gonzalo, sorry. As you can see, here is our latest model. As you can see, Now there's also hurricane watches in this area. Expect warnings in the next few days. It's currently a tropical storm, but will probably begin as a hurricane and either late today or tomorrow morning. So this entire area, maybe very north of South America, and these islands over here, expect some strong waves and hurricane warnings around those areas. And even in Jamaica, tropical storm watch could be issued in the next few days. Although the storm is really small and doesn't exactly, it's very slow is what I meant. We're going to look at our most likely arrival times of winds. The islands Saturday, and Jamaica probably about Monday to Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at the 5-day wind speed probability. Again, this can change, but we're basically guaranteed to see some strong winds over here. Almost 100%. Well, that just about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed the video, found it at all useful, then thank you for watching it. And also, I would like everyone to please answer this question. Do you think Tropical Depression 8 will become a Category 1 hurricane or just move to a tropical storm? And also, comment, do you think this one model is in Category 1 or tropical storm? Comment in the comment section below. And we'll see. We know there's 1 to 2 models in Category 1. And it's up to you to decide, so please leave a comment below on what you think of that. Well, I say thank you for everyone for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope you found this video useful. Our next update will probably be a bit later, probably around 2 o'clock, to see the latest models and everything. So thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to comment on the video.